Sunday Witkowski with Focus Life Coaching, and we're going to talk this week. This is going to be our last video for April, and in April we've been talking about new growth. We've talked about a lot about planting a garden and tending a garden, that type of thing. And this week I want to discuss something so important to growth and gardening, and that's reaping. And that's something sometimes we forget, that all these things that we're doing in our lives and we're committing to God, that the reason we do a lot of these things is because in the end there is a harvest. We are promised that at the end, if you don't give up, that is a rule that is stated. If you don't give up, you get to reap a harvest. God has good planned for your life. He wants to see you prosper. He doesn't want to see harm come into your life. He wants to bless you in everything you touch. He has great things planned for you. The Bible says that He will bless and prosper everything we put our hands to. Now, part of the problem here is that sometimes, we get in the rat race of the world, and I think most everyone would say, I don't want to have one of those lives where I'm going to work, and I'm coming home and I'm having some dinner, sitting on the couch watching TV, going to bed, and getting up and doing the same thing the next day. Most people would tell me, I just don't want that kind of life. But most people that I know have that kind of life. And I think part of the reason we get stuck in that rut is when we're not thinking about what the Bible says. He will prosper what we put our hands to. If you truly believe that, you're going to get up off the couch, you're going to turn off the TV and sit down and make a list of some things that you could possibly put your hands to. Some things that God has put in your heart, that He has blessed you with talents for, some things that you could do that you'd like to see Him prosper. Now remember, there is a catch. You can't give up. It's going to be difficult sometimes. It's going to be hard sometimes to keep going. And it's set up that way on purpose because those times grow us and they make us actually become a lot better at what we do. He puts a dream in our heart. I've had the dream in my heart for years to do some of the things that I'm doing now. And just now has He been able to bring some of that to fruition. And He keeps bringing it back to me, and I don't want to give up. Remember the widow in the Old Testament? She was told she had just a little bit of oil in a vial, and that's all she had left in her house to live on, her and her son. She was told, go and borrow jars, go and borrow containers, go and borrow bottles, and fill them from this little bottle. You can use that to live on. Well, she went and gathered some bottles and some jars and brought them into her kitchen, and she started pouring from that vial that only had a little bit of olive oil in it left. And she was able to fill every single bottle and jar that she gathered, up until the very last bottle, and then the bottle she was pouring from ran out. And she was able to sell the oil that she gathered, and her and her son were able to live on that money. Now, I am suggesting to you that maybe she thought after she was pouring that last bottle, I should have dragged the bathtub into the kitchen. I should have gone and borrowed my neighbor's bathtub and drug it in here. That's what we need to be thinking. We need to have bathtub faith. Like when God gives us a promise, we need to believe that He's going to deliver, and He is going to deliver fully. Even when it seems impossible, even when it seems hard. And it's not going to be by our hands. He is going to turn something around on a dime, something that you didn't even expect. And He's doing it to prosper you because you hung in there. Even when it got hard. Peter and his friends were out fishing all night long, throwing nets, pulling them up, throwing nets, pulling them up. They were fishermen by trade. This is how they were going to feed their families. No catch. Jesus came along and said, throw the nets again. And they did. And they pulled in a load of fish so large it almost sunk 3 boats. The largest catch that they could think of was right there, because they were willing to try one more time. You have tried to stop smoking 30 times. You have tried to lose weight and get in shape 50 times. You have tried to get yourself on a budget and start to save money 100 times. You have thought about going back to school. You have thought about starting that new business. You've thought about organizing your home and your schedule and your life a lot of times. Try again. The harvest is coming. And that's what you have to keep in your mind. When that farmer is working that land, he can't think about the sweat that's pouring off of him, or the hardships that he had last season, or the fence that's broken that he had to fix yesterday. No, he just keeps moving forward, doing it again, trying it again, doing something new, because he knows that harvest is coming. That's what you have to do. You know it's going to get hard. You know it's going to get difficult. It's gotten difficult in the past. That's okay. Try again. And this time when it gets hard, maybe give yourself a break, step back a little bit, but only a little bit. And then push forward. Push through that time that's difficult. The harvest is coming. The only rule to the harvest is that you don't give up.